All right, boys and girls, I'm going to try to make a cake here. This cake recipe came out of a 1929 cookbook that I found a long time ago. And I haven't made this cake in a long time. I used to make it occasionally at the fire station. And it's just a regular homemade cake. And it's really easy to do. I've already got my stuff measured out because it makes it easier to do the videos for this. And you can use a hand blender or a mixer, or you can use this, or you can even use a spoon to stir all this stuff up to get this cake made. So first thing I do is I find my pans, and I'm gonna make a round cake. I'm gonna do 2 of these, but I'll put a light coating of grease on them, or cooking oil, vegetable shortening, and then I dust it with flour. I do both of them like this. You don't have to, but I find when you do this, they're less prone to sticking in the pan when you dump them out. So we're going to get started, and the first thing you do, you start getting what I call the main part of the cake done before you get the flour in it. What you're going to want to do is you'll take 2/3 of a cup of shortening, and you'll start out with it. Now I want to put a warning out there. This is not gluten-free, and it's not keto-friendly, but it's really, really good. So 2/3 cup of shortening goes in. And I'll go ahead and see how loud this is. It goes in, and then after 2/3 cup of shortening, you want to put 1.5 cups of sugar in there. The next thing you'll want to put in there is 3 eggs. 3 eggs. Drop them in there. And then a teaspoon of vanilla. Now I like to use this vanilla here. It comes from Honduras. I started using it. I went on a Honduras mission trip several years ago and got some, and I started using it all the time. But we have a couple of people at our church that head up some mission trips to Honduras. And when I get low, I always get them to bring me a bottle back. And I really, really like this. So we'll put a teaspoon in there. Sometimes I like to get a little extra, but we'll put that in there. We've got a couple of more ingredients that we're going to add, and we're going to add them in portions. We'll use 1 1/3 cup of milk. Now this is just whole milk. 1 1/3 cup of whole milk. And then what we've got is 2 3/4 cups of flour. So we start out, we want to get this mixed up real good that I just put in here. And now, I know it's hard to hear me while this is going, but you want to get this mixed up in here. If you've got long hair, and you're not like me with very little hair, don't get it in there, because this would be bad. So you want to get this mixed up really good, and you can use a hand mixer or like to break the sides off, but don't get them up in these beaters. And as it gets mixed up real good, you want to start adding some things. Now you got to add things in portions. So what we do, I'll turn this mixer back on. I know it's going to be hard to hear me when I do that, but when you add it in portions, you want to do 3 portions of flour and 2 portions of milk. So I want this 2 1/4 cups of flour. I'll put 1/3 of it in there, and then I'll put half of my 1.5 cups of milk in there. So and I'm going to turn this back on. Maybe you can hear me good. So I'm going to put about 1/3 of the flour in there. We're gonna let it get kind of mixed up in there kind of good. And look, this cake is delicious. I'm gonna try to make buttercream frosting to go on it. That'll be something new for me. All right, then I'm gonna take, this is 1.5 cups of milk. So I'm gonna take half of that and go ahead and put it in there, or somewhere near half. And it's really starting to look good. It's starting to smooth up. And look, you can buy those box cake mixes if you want to, because I do sometimes, but this isn't really that much harder. It makes, normally I wouldn't have a big mess because I'd only use one measuring cup for all of this, but just for the sake of this video, I messed up a lot of dishes. Maybe I'll just throw them in the dishwasher later. All right. Then I'm gonna put another portion of my flour in here. Just remember to do it in 3 portions. I'll try to snap a picture of this flour, this recipe, and put it at the end of this video, because, you know, it's not a secret recipe or anything. This is something I got out of a 1929 cookbook that I found. My wife and I used to have some floor space at a couple of flea markets, and I used to sell on eBay. And it got to be more trouble than it's worth. But we would, before we got way out in the country, and while I was still a firefighter, we would even go and bid on storage lockers and things like that. So I don't know where I found the book, but I found it somewhere, and I wrote it up. All right, so now I'm going to put the rest of my milk in here. It will lighten that up some. You don't want to turn the beaters on too fast. Well, you know what it'll do. It'll make a mess. And I don't have plastic on my walls or anything. So I'm going to let that mix in real good. And I know I'm turning this, but it turns itself, I guess. I don't know. My wife uses this. It's a little fancy for me. All right. So here we go. We're gonna put our 3rd portion of flour in. Mix that right on up. Like I said, you can use a spoon to do this with. You can use a hand mixer. It works really good with the spoon, but it looks like it's ready to go in the pans. So while I've been doing all this, I've had my oven preheating at 375 degrees. So I'm gonna just tell you, I've got this timer, and I haven't paused the video any. Right now we're at 9.5 minutes, and we got the batter ready. So I'll open this little thing up. Look how creamy that looks. All right, so this is ready. And so I'm gonna split this between these 2 round cake pans I have. See how good that looks? And you know, most of this stuff I put in here, most people have in their pantry. So if you're in a pinch and something happens, company's coming, somebody got a birthday you forgot, and you need to make a cake, flour, sugar, eggs, milk, shortening, vanilla. That's it. Get all that out of there I can. I got 2 boys here, 2 of my grandsons, but they're at school. Now, if they was here, I'd leave a little bit more in this bowl and let them lick it out of the bowl. I had somebody tell me one time, said, well, it's got raw eggs in it. I said, well, so what? They hadn't killed me yet. All right. Mmm. All right, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna kind of just shake these pans, and then get them good and level. And that one's a little over halfway full. This same pan this way. Just shake it a little bit, and get everything nice and level in there and spread out. And it'll look something like this. And look, let me tell you. I know this is going to be good. All right, so now we've got it all mixed up. My oven's preheated at 375 degrees. I'm going to put these in the oven for 30 minutes. All right, look here. Sorry. This cake turned out good. Now here's what you want to do. Before you put frosting on it, you want to make sure it's cool, that there's no heat coming. If you put this buttercream frosting on there and it's hot, it'll just melt or slide off. So we're going to see how this frosting seems a little thick to me. Ooh, but it spreads so good. So this is going to be 2 layers. So I'm going to put some frosting on this in between, you know, like glue to hold it together. You know, I don't know. This hadn't been too bad of an experience, but it's all homemade. I didn't buy none of this. It's homemade icing. The ingredients I had. And it's going to be a little thicker feeling than what you buy at the store, just so you know. So we're going to get that on there. And my lovely bride is going to leave me. She's got to go get tables set up for shoebox packing tonight. We've already packed a few. We do about 250, 200 to 250. I think we got about 220 probably this year. The kids enjoy it. The people enjoy it. So after we eat supper at church tonight, that's what we'll do. All right. All right. The second one. Now, when these come out of the oven, they were a little round on top. But once they cooled off, they flattened out. And if they don't flatten out, you can take a long bread knife and slice this down. This is going to be good. This is going to be good, I think. I may not even want to take it to the church. I may want to keep it to myself. But anyway, we're going to finish putting this frosting on. Now, this buttercream frosting, it'll keep for a little while in the refrigerator, 3 or 4 days. You know, so if I had some left over, I'll put a lid on this maybe. Or you could put it in a container and drop it in the freezer and freeze it, and it would keep probably for a couple of months. So if you make too much, don't worry about it. Just refrigerate it or freeze it. If I have too much here, I'll put it in the refrigerator, and then in a couple of days, what I'll do, use this same cake mix recipe, and I'll make cupcakes, and maybe take them to church on Sunday, and give to the kids. You know how it is. You want them kids hyped up on as much sugar as you can when you give them back to your mom and their mom and dads. But not really. But I might make some cupcakes out of it. And I don't know. Send them to school with the boys or something. We stay so busy in basketball season. Our oldest grandson that's here with us, he plays 6A basketball. He's on the JV team and the varsity team. And he's a sophomore. And he loves basketball. So we travel. A game last night was an hour away. Just keep putting that icing on. It's a little thick, but I'm gonna tell you, it spreads easy. I don't have enough time today, but I was gonna try my hand at doing a little decorating. Put a little food coloring in here. But I don't have enough time today because I started this a little late. I had to finish up a little bit on my Bible study that I got prepared for tonight, and work a little bit on my Sunday sermon. If I'm not careful, I don't manage time well, and I'll be in here at midnight. Yeah, not midnight, but I'll be in here late working on stuff, and sometimes, but we'll see. So I'm gonna just tell you, I don't have a lot of finesse on my icing skills. But here's what I do. I just say, hey, I'm a guy. You know, what can I say? I don't have a lot of finesse about anything. Especially when you spend 25 years being a firefighter, the finesse is gone out the window by the time you retire. All right, so that looks pretty good. I'm gonna try something. If it don't work, don't laugh. I'm gonna kind of wet this a little bit. This is what it's for, to smooth out the rough edges on this cake and then this icing. And it's doing a pretty good job. You know, if I was a professional, I would want this to look like a brand new flat top hair clip. But I'm not a professional. And somebody may get a big hunk of frosting. And I think I've told you before, there's a difference between frosting and icing. Icing is thinner. Frosting is a little thick. I kind of hope some's left over, because if it is, in the morning, I'll have a cup of hot coffee and a nice piece of cake. But I got to tell you something. This is not good for me. I'm a type 2 diabetic, so I really have to watch. If I eat a piece of this tonight, it'll be a small piece. Well, here's what I'm gonna do, guys and girls. Girls and boys, men, women, and children. I'm gonna say my 1929 cake recipe. Whoops. I'm gonna say this is done. Maybe I can smooth it out better, but it doesn't matter. It's gonna get ate at church tonight, and everybody's gonna either like it or not. So anyway, all right. I'm gonna run through this again. This is a 1929 cake, come out of a cookbook from 1929 cake recipe. And this is homemade buttercream icing. The buttercream icing I just got off the internet. With the internet search, I'll take a picture of this cake recipe that I wrote down, or either I'll type it out at the last screen so you'll have it. This is great. It's gonna taste good. Anyway, let me know if you enjoyed this, whether it's too short, too long. I mean, it's hard to condense it down. I'm gonna cut some things in here. Anyway, hey, Let me know if you like this. And if you make it, let me know what you think about how it tastes. Anyway, take care.